Hello everyone, in this tutorial I'll show you how to set up PubGuru lazy loading for mobile. MonetizeMore's proprietary technology that has been proven to increase our publishers' revenues by up to 30%. Lazy loading means that we only load or show the ad if the user scrolls close to it. In short, it only loads if it is likely going to be viewable on the user's screen. Make sure to check out our blog, How to Set Up Lazy Loading and Infinite Scroll with PubGuru Header Bidding, as we gave some tips on here on some of the best practices in implementing this technology. Once you have the Advanced Ads plugin installed, go ahead and click on Ads, and let's now create the first set of ads that we need for mobile. Now, let's say, for example, this is the set of codes that your account manager from MonetizeMore provided you with. So you're going to have a header tag, and then the first unit is going to be a placeholder div. It looks exactly this one. Of course, this is what we're going to implement for the first ad unit. Then, if you're running an anchor or a sticky ad for mobile, you will have to insert the div ID for your anchor unit. We're going to have a more detailed discussion on that in a bit. Then for the succeeding units, for every single one of them, you just need a div class, which is this one, PG Lazy. Now let's go ahead and start creating them on WordPress. So with the Advanced Ads plugin, I would suggest you first create your groups and rotation. So let's go ahead, create a new group, and let's do two. One for header and one for body. So we'll call this header group and save it. Then let's create another one and we'll call it the body group. Save. Okay. The next thing we need to do is go to placements. Placement is where we can set the ad units live in the front end. So when you create the ads and groups, it's just like creating a placement or a spot there, but it's not live yet. So in order to push them live, we have to create a placement. And if this is the first time you're setting it up, you choose the head section first for the header. Then of course we call this the header placement. You can name it any way you want, or any terminologies or naming convention that you want to follow, but make sure it's descriptive. And then we're going to choose the group that will belong to this placement, and we're going to choose header group and save it. Next, create a new placement, and this time for the body section. Let's give it a name, and we'll call it body placement. And the group that I want to add, or that I will be assigning for this placement, is going to be the body group. And then just save it. All right, now we're ready to create the ad units or the tags or codes that we need to deploy on the site. Go to the ad section, and let's create first our header tag. So if you have this header script, go ahead and grab that. First, we give it a name. So let's say this is header. Choose plain text and code, and insert it here. And of course, don't forget, choose the header group. So because we started creating group first, then placements, it is now here as an option on the right-hand panel. So you just go ahead and choose that for this ad unit. Next, we can go ahead and set our conditions. So if you want this header to show up on specific pages of the site, you go ahead and choose them here. Otherwise, if this is the same across the board for all pages of your site, then you can go ahead and skip this. You just go ahead and publish. All right, and where do you want to display the ad? This is going to exist in the header. There you go. Next, let's go back And we'll now create the body tags. So click on New Ad, and this is going to be the first placeholder div. So this is your first above the fold unit, or we can just say first unit mobile. Grab this placeholder div, plain text and code, and paste it in there. And of course, this is going to be part of the body group. You want this centered, so choose that. You can do any other settings that you want in here, and you can go ahead and publish. So for this ad unit, if you want this to show up before the content, for example, within the content, after, and so on, you have to choose them here. So this is the first placement, and let's say I want this to show up before content, so I choose that. And there it is. It's now visible on the front end. All right, now let's create the anchor ad. Let's say, for example, I'm running an anchor or sticky unit, so I have to grab this, plain text and code, paste it in here. Here's the most important part. You have to edit this with the exact ad unit code that you have for this unit. Whatever is in your Google Ad Manager, so let's say in your ad unit settings, you call this sticky anchor. If this is your ad unit name or ad unit code, you have to place that exact text or name in there. Now you have to choose body group. We still want it centered, all other settings, and just go ahead publish. This is an anchor ad. This is going to stick at the bottom of your screen or the user screen on mobile. So we can deploy it anywhere in the body section. So I would suggest choosing the footer code. And there you go. That's for the anchor unit. Now, here's the part that's a little bit tricky. We are now going to create the ad tags or set up the div class for all the other BTF units. So we grab this div class right here, which is pg-lazy. Let's go back and click new ad. And let's say this is your first BTF unit. And let's just call it BTF1 for now. Plain text and code, put it in there, still part of the body group. Still want it centered. Now, publish. Okay. And this time, let's say I want it within the content. And it's going to ask you after which paragraph. So let's say my first BTF unit, I want it to show up after 2 paragraphs. And then I click on OK. There you go. Let's go back to add section again. And let's say I want to add another one. This time I'm going to call it BTF2 mobile. And I still place the same exact div class, which is PG-lazy. Still part of the body group, still centered. And then I click on publish. And I still want it within content, but this time, let's say the first BTF was after 2 paragraphs. Let's say I want this after 6 paragraphs. Then I just click on OK. Now the thing with this technology or implementation is that you can have as many ad units as you wish. Depending on your layout, you can have up to 20 if you want to. Like you can create up to BTF3 down to BTF20. And then just specify where exactly you want this ad to show up. And remember, because we have the lazy loading enabled for this, our code will only load the ad if they're going to be visible or viewable on the user screen. Say you're done setting up, let's say 15, 20 BTF units here with a div class code, you can go ahead and go back to groups and rotation and make sure that all your ads here are properly set up. So for the body group, click on edit, and then you can just go ahead and say ordered ads. And in here, I would suggest choosing the maximum number of ads that you will load on the site per page. So if you're gonna say all, you just say all. Or especially if it's more than 10. If you have 10, then choose 10. Then I would suggest choosing the same weight across the board for all the units that you have here. So click on add if there are missing units in here. But if you remember earlier, when we created the ads, we chose the group on the right-hand panel, and it's automatically added on this group as well. So you can choose the same weight so that this plugin will load them with the same priority. But then again, because we have the lazy loading technology activated, again, it's only going to show up or load. It's only going to be loaded if it's likely going to be viewable on the user screen. So once you're done with this, you just go ahead and update it. And there you go. Now, if we choose not to set up a visitor condition, you're fine. Because MonetizeMore's code or technology will handle the device detection for you. So our technology can tell if your users are using desktop or mobile, and will show the appropriate ads as well. So you can also skip this section completely. Just set up your code, give it a name, choose centered and all other settings in here and how it appears, and then just choose the group and then just update it. And once you're done, send us your test page and we'll make sure that you have everything set up properly and you can start earning more money.
That concludes our video for today. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get updates on our latest videos. See you next time!